is Pukeology Podcast, where science meets your hilarious puke stories and the tips and tricks to stop that chuckle that you need.
You never know what's going to spew out of her mouth. Here's
my mama,
Dr. Pukeology.
Have you ever seen a pregnant woman scratching their belly and wonder, why are they so itchy? Hormones and a boatload of other things that are changing with the actual pregnant skin. So let's learn about all of those nuances and about how the largest organ in your entire body functions a little different while pregnant in today's episode 43, Pregnancy Skin. Want no more morning sickness, pregnancy nausea, or how about no more headaches or migraines? Visit our sponsor, nomowristbands.com, the only natural way to instantly stop your worst nausea, vomiting, or headaches now. Or just place Nomo Nausea Band on your baby registry for your delivery bag at Bye Bye Baby, or get it shipped for free in just 2 days on Amazon as a Prime vendor. And know your little ones are always taken care of with No Mo Nausea Kids and No Mo Sleepless Nights Kids at your local CVS store. Wouldn't it be awesome to get a great night's sleep? Well, your kids want it too. Go pick up one today. Pregnancy humor that may just make you want to pee your pants, like you don't have to pee all the time anyway, with hilarious stories, Cheeto Puffs, Snake Cereal, and the Green Barista. If you want to learn more about your pregnancy, humor and knowledge is the key to help you survive these 9 months. And just know we're in this together. Today, you will learn the science behind the 6 most common reasons why your skin is so itchy during these 9 months of pregnancy, and 8 natural remedies to stop scratching and avoid getting dry skin. Remember that your skin is the largest organ of your entire body, and it's going to change during pregnancy. So let me help you get through it in today's Pregnancy Pukeology Podcast, episode 43, Pregnancy Skin.
The science of puke, Pukeology.
Itching during pregnancy. It's actually very common. So pregnancy is known to bring about a lot of really strange symptoms to your body, and thanks to all the hormonal changes that affect your skin as well. While these changes are super annoying, the condition that goes away after you give birth. So have no fear, once that beautiful baby is here, you will let go of your scaly skin. Let's look at what can cause itchiness during pregnancy and whether or not it's normal to experience it and when it should be a concern. I'm about to give you the 8 most common reasons for itching during pregnancy. Now, itching is very common in expectant mothers. Various reasons help to explain the itchiness that you may or may not have experienced prior to pregnancy. But during pregnancy specifically, these different types of common reasons are the extension of your skin. Your skin does stretch, especially during your first pregnancy or when you're carrying twins. This may actually cause irritation to your skin, making you scratch your tummy just a little bit more. You have to remember that your skin and your body are basically a big bag of water. So if you're not well hydrated, the turgidity, meaning the stretch and elasticity of your skin, is just not going to be what it is. And as we get a little older, as we all know, your skin doesn't stretch as much, hence the problem of wrinkles. So what we can do, especially in large times of weight gain followed by weight loss, can always end up triggering these big things called stretch marks. And I've actually done an entire podcast dedicated to stretch marks, which we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, your skin does get very dry, okay? It's very almost like scaly and flaky. And pregnancy hormones are actually known to cause this itchiness. A high volume of progesterone, a hormone that's actually produced by your body in order to keep that baby, right, once it's actually implanted, is done so, and it actually increases the amount of itching. So if you've ever had a birth control pill, for example, and you notice that you are super itchy, I bet you it had much more progesterone than it did estrogen. Interesting, huh? Now, the uses of perfumes and fabrics can also lead to some ectopic dermatitis. Woo! Say that 10 times fast. Well, ectopic dermatitis is not a horrible disorder. It's literally ectopic, meaning on the outside, derma, skin, titis is actually a dermatitis, right? So a dermatitis of the skin, and pardon me with my Spanish accent, dermatitis, it is actually irritated even more so. So if you have natural autoimmune conditions like eczema or psoriasis, you will notice that during pregnancy, it's an over-exacerbation because your body is put under large amounts of stress. So try to avoid that. Go to like a free and clear detergent, as well as try to X-nay out the perfumes. And by the way, your body will totally tell you which ones you can or cannot handle. I personally, the smell of gas literally made me instantly vomit. So any smells, I know one cologne that my husband used to wear just made me barf all over the toilet seat. So your body will tell you whether or not it's a smell that you can handle. Hormones, like we talked about before, the fact that pregnancy causes many hormonal changes, that you may actually feel itchy in addition to having mood swings. So mood swings, we do know, are also a result of these pregnancy hormonal changes. And you have large surges during your first trimester. So don't feel like you're the only one with a wolf-like sense of smell, or that, your pregnancy hormones are causing you to go crazy, or even what we call mommy brain. We actually dedicated an entire other podcast on it. And believe it or not, it's incredible the fact that mommy brain is actually something real. And it happens for up to 2 years even after. So again, don't feel like you're the only one. We're all in this absolutely, positively, 100% together. And this baby brain, what I'm talking about in affecting is actually inside of your baby checklist from episode 27, pregnancy stretch marks, and also what you need to know about baby brain. That's all in episode 32. So go check them out, episode 27 and episode 32. Now that we're across the hormone bridge, let's talk about cholecystitis. Now remember, cholecystitis in pregnancy is very common because what are the 4 F's, right? Whether you are in female, in fertile age, before the age of 40, and that kind of generalizes all of us who are pregnant. So this is something that you shouldn't actually ignore. And chole is, we're talking about your actual gallbladder, right? And again, cystasis is actually the cystation, meaning that your gallbladder is not doing as it's supposed to. So whenever you have fatty foods that come in, your gallbladder is actually supposed to spit out nice gross bile so that it can help to break it down. Well, what happens if that's not moving? Or what happens if the duct is actually closed? And it causes massive amounts of pain, or any type of you're barreled over the toilet, especially when you have, when you're really not feeling good anytime you eat fatty foods. So this is actually in pregnancy a liver disorder that affects the normal flow of bile, like we talked about, from your gallbladder as a result of high pregnancy hormones. It can cause severe itching of your entire body, often worse on your palms or on the soles of your feet. Your skin and eyes may turn yellow in very severe cases, and you need to seek medical attention if this itchiness gets worse. Again, what are those big symptomologies or big signs? If you are a female, if you're in fertile age, obviously under the age of 40, and if you notice it every time you eat the 4th F, fatty foods, itching on the hands and on the feet. Now PUP, P-U-P-P, pruritic urticarial papules and plaques of pregnancy is another common skin condition that pregnancy caused itching. Now, this is something else that you may want to be considering, or talk to your OBGYN about it. Now, PUPS occurs near the actual stretch marks and is characterized by red, itchy patches, usually at the end of pregnancy during the 3rd trimester, a period when your abdomen is fully stretched. And sadly, the itchiness can extend all the way over through to your buttocks. So it's not just your belly, it's all the way through. One of my really good girlfriends from high school ended up having pups. And let me tell you, she was just a red, itchy blob all over. Poor thing. She had to always ice herself. So that's something else that you can think about, is maybe icing small amounts, especially when they get super red and inflamed. Prurigo, which is a crusty elevation on your actual arms, legs, or abdomen. They are itchiness that occurs in any type of trimester. And again, that is something that you may notice as an irritation, not like eczema, but think of an even more elevated. So think of dead layers of skin that are continuously almost like crusty buildup, and it itches like no other. So that is something else that you're going to want to go see a dermatologist about, and talk to your OBGYN, because any of these types of skin disorders could mean that something else is going on, meaning either your gallbladder is not working, or maybe it is that your hormones are completely out of whack, something else that you may want to address. But now that we've gone over kind of these gross things, let's start talking about some hilarious puke stories to get your mind all off of it.
Throwing up on a Tuesday? One puke story.
I was studying late one night, and I was in my first trimester. I was starving, and the only thing I had that sounded good was Cheetos. I had that extra large family size bag. Well, my body didn't stop when I was full. It was like the baby boy had never had these glorious puffs before. Well, I reached down to grab another book off the bed, and without hesitation, an orange rainbow came up. I was so grossed out that I threw up again while I was cleaning it. Do you know what Cheetos look like coming back up? Yeah, an orange highlighter. Thank you so much, Tiffany Hart, for that hilarious puke story. I have to say, it'll definitely make me think of Cheetos in a very different way. I have had the absolute worst skin during this pregnancy. I feel like a snake that is shedding my daily skin. One morning, I was scratching while I was talking to my husband and didn't know that the skin flakes, that I was coating my cereal with. I went to take one bite and looked down at the bowl, and immediately I gave up my Cookie Crunch cereal, that is. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah Delish. Maybe, for that hilarious puke story. I really do have to say that gives me a whole new meaning to like skin dust in your cereal. Ugh, gross. I can make just about anything, any type of drink you want. A blue Long Island, an amaretto sour, a mojito, just ask. That's exactly what I told my customer. And I had not been behind the bar in a long while, nor did anyone know that I was pregnant. So I shook up a drink and in my hand opened the shaker and all of a sudden got a whiff of the alcohol. I immediately turned more green than the amaretto sour and threw up all over the ice bucket. Oh my gosh. It took 2 hours to defrost, and I couldn't tell my boss I was pregnant because my figure was my best asset at this dive bar. Let's just say the customer didn't order any more drinks from me all night. Oh, that's so sad. And thank you so much, Maya K, for that hilarious puke story. Now, do you have a hilarious puke story that you just can't wait to share with us? Send it to me. Pukeology, Pukeology at nomonausea.com. Again, Pukeology, Pukeology at nomonausea.com. Or tweet us at Pukeology so we can all have a good laugh.
Tips and tricks to stop the chuckle that you need.
Finally, my absolute favorite section. We need to get into some natural remedies to help itchiness during pregnancy. So a lot of you guys are probably thinking, what can you do? Everyone always thinks there's got to be creams and things, but what we're ignoring is the fact of what's on the inside to heal the outside and not the other way around. So here are some ways that you can help to protect your body from itching while pregnant. Number 1, put on some loose clothes and make sure that they are made from natural materials. Think of your skin kind of like you just had a burn, right, on the outside. You don't want to wear really tight, constricting clothes because that doesn't allow the flow of oxygen. Instead, you want to make sure that you have nice, loose clothes and that they are made from natural substances, like cotton is a great breathable material. 2, use yogurt skin treatment or an awesome oatmeal bath, because both of them, believe it or not, have actually been shown to help to decrease inflammation of the skin. They contain different detoxifying agents like lactic acid and proteins that help to hydrate and keep your skin hydrated. Make your own soap. Avoid perfumes and harsh chemicals or irritants that can be found in commercialized products. I'll tell you personally, I'm allergic to fragrance. Now, fragrance, not the actual smell, but the compound that's utilized inside of many of the soaps, creams, shampoos, things of that nature. So it helps it to basically stay all together on the shelf for a much longer period of time. When I try to explain to people what fragrance is, have you ever seen the hydrogenated peanut butter that sits on the shelf, the one that's like, the crappy corn syrup that you're not supposed to eat? Yeah, it stays good forever and it always is mixed. Well, when you get natural peanut butter, what happens? It separates. So fragrance is that nasty peanut butter that's good for 10 years up on the shelf, but the reason why is because it is actually a compounding item that's utilized to make sure it stays good on the shelf. So stay away from all that stuff because, again, your skin can be very irritated. And who do you think is getting a small amount of these chemicals? Your baby. It does go through the bloodstream, and remember, that includes your nail beds. So while you're pregnant, I always highly recommend to have formaldehyde-free nail polish. Just a little tidbit from one doc to you. Use moisturizers such as olive oil or coconut oil to prevent your skin from drying out. Put it on after the shower. Remember, the shower opens up your pores because it's nice and warm. And when you put on these things, and also when you cook with olive oil or cook with coconut oil and you drink all of these things, those are good fatty omega acids that you're giving it. And they will seep into giving your skin a much better sense of oils so that you're not so dry all the time. To the itchy areas, try to apply like calamine lotion, something to decrease that redness. Or if you've noticed that you've scratched it, you don't want it to get infected because we all know that you have a decreased immunity during pregnancy. So you want to make sure that you put like a triple antibiotic ointment or something that's nice and coating so that it doesn't have exposure to outside bacteria. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Hydrate. Drink lots and lots of water. It's summer, ladies, so we need to make sure that we stay hydrated to keep those babies nice and well hydrated inside of their awesome hot tub. And then keep your surroundings moist by turning on a humidifier, especially while you're sleeping, and a fan, because you can actually have very dry nasal mucosis. And you'll notice that you might be snoring more, that you have more nasal mucus, and that's normal. Remember, congestion happens all over your body. As you get to higher trimesters, you're going to notice that your body's kind of swelling a little bit more, and that's to make up for the blood loss that you could potentially lose during delivery or a C-section. It's your body's way of protecting itself. And finally, I've never done this, but people say to take a milk bath. I wouldn't recommend it because milk is so expensive and very hard to find right now. I would just stick with the good old-fashioned oats, in my personal opinion. Now, how do you treat dry face? Because remember, everything else that we've been talking about is the body itself. And your body is actually a much different type of skin versus your face is extremely sensitive and is constantly getting hammered with UV light from the sun. So you really want to make sure that you are treating it a little different than you would treat the rest of your body. Now, while it is normal to have dry skin on your face while you're pregnant due to hormonal changes, there are natural ways that you can use in order to help to treat dry facial skin. And these awesome ways are regular wash up your face to get rid of the accumulated dead skin cells. So this should be done with a soap that is like a soap-free cleanser. And again, notice that I'm saying a soap-free cleanser like Cetaphil or Aquafil. They are less sensitive and they have a less propensity to dry out your skin. If you do have to use soap, use it no more than once daily, especially when you're removing makeup at night. Don't use any deodorants as they can possibly soak up the moisture inside of your skin. And again, remember that when you are doing a kind of like a cleansing, try something natural. Take a little bit of an exfoliant, which is like some type of oranges, and maybe put a little bit of sugar on there. And you can actually use your own emollient, and it's almost like a detoxifier to the face. You can also buy cleansers that have these like little balls, but I'm always a big proponent of go natural. What's more natural than a little bit of fruit and also a little bit of sugar? Take adequate amounts of water, during the day and keep you hydrated. This will help to keep your skin nice and moist. And going back to the actual utilizing to decrease the dead skin cells, if you use a loofah, things like that, I actually found what was interesting when I was much younger and really cared about getting a nice, beautiful tan. I would actually take coffee beans, and I would actually use coffee beans, and I would use that actually as to decrease the amount of ugly dead skin that I had. But it also helped because it has that beta carotene in it. So it actually helped to help me to tan a little bit more or to look a little darker. So I thought that was a really interesting point. You always want to talk about that pregnancy glow. So maybe throw in a little bit of your used coffee grinds. There's a nice little trick. Number 3, turn on those humidifiers at nighttime to keep everything nice and moist, especially if you have a obstructive sleep apnea or you have some sort of other respiratory type conditions, especially of asthma. Remember, if you don't live in very humid climates, like I live in Florida, it's very humid outside. But if you go and visit Vegas, for example, it's extremely dry. So you girls are the ones that are going to really, those Cali girls, you're really going to need a lot of moisture. And if you live over by the sea, salt actually dries out the skin. It doesn't do the opposite. So if you're a naturally oily person, that's why they say, use like salt baths or salt water or whatever, and it will dry out your skin. Now, if you're pregnant and already scaly, you definitely don't want to do that. So you turn on those humidifiers, especially while you sleep. Now, eating a healthy amount of fat is important. Monosaturated fat, polysaturated fat, foods like olives and canola oils and olive oils, nuts, avocados are great inside of your diet. And this will help you to give you a little bit more moisture from the inside out. And then last but not least, use a sunscreen. You are actually much more probable to get a sunburn while you're pregnant. Whenever I talk about sunscreens, try extra sensitive sunscreen. Baby sunscreens are a great idea. And make sure that you wear a wide brimmed hat. You'll look very fancy, Nancy, but also it will protect your facial skin because your face, it's naturally already dry and you definitely don't want to expose it to the sun because all that'll do is kind of like crack, right? It absorbs all the moisture and crack. Now that you know the science behind why your belly itches so much during pregnancy, the most common causes of irritable skin, and 8 amazing natural remedies to help heal your pregnant skin from your head to your toe from the inside out. I hope I've ultimately given you the best answers that there is to date about pregnancy. So if you love Pregnancy Pukeology Podcast, let me know with a 5-star rating or hearts for likes. Don't forget to download this episode, but more importantly, share it with all your Prego friends. Thanks again for listening to Pregnancy Pukeology Podcast, episode 43, Pregnancy Skin, and Why Am I So Itchy?
Pukeology Podcast. Edutainment at its finest.